Okay, so we're going to attempt to diagnose the power door locks on here, and the very first thing you want to do is load test all the inputs to the switch right here, powers and grounds, the constants. So we're going to check the grounds first. I have a main power coming from the battery to the motor here. This motor is going to pull some amperage, and it's going to really load test circuits instead of just guessing with a voltmeter and taking resistance readings. So there's a black one right here and a black one right here that should have a constant ground, and they should be able to run the motor. And this thing pulls some amp because of all the gear reduction inside of here. It takes quite a bit to get it going. So we're definitely testing the circuits for integrity with this process without even checking voltage or guessing or anything like that. So both our grounds coming into the switch are fine under load. Next thing we're going to do is check the powers on here. So we're simply going to swap our source from the battery, which you can see the battery is working. We're going to have a ground from the battery now, and we're going to take the other end of this and we're going to there we go. We're going to test the constant powers coming into here. Now there's one that comes in for the illumination, no big deal, but hey, let's check it for a reference. Okay, it works. That's the illumination wire right there, the small one. And then these two should have power, I believe, also. So I'm going to test these, and neither one of these has power. Okay, so the blue, checking my schematic here. Yeah, light blue and red, which is this one right here. It's just for illumination, like I said. And then these red ones here are for, actually running it. So at this point, the only power that's coming into here is for the illumination, which he even said works on there. So it all makes sense. Now I need to find out why there's no power getting to it. It can be that simple, a diagnosis. We'll see what we find on this one. Alright, so it was a fight, but I found the fault that's causing the power door locks not to work on this vehicle. What happened is they all had something in common, obviously. Both sides didn't work. I used a scan tool, and I actuated the power door locks, lock and unlock, and nothing. So something's in common. I can talk to the wrap module. They should work separate from the wrap module. So what I did is I made sure that the fuse is okay, that powers all the relays for it. It's fine, just fine. And next thing I had to do was find the relay junction block for all these, and then they're buried and there's no real information on where they go. So I'll show you where they're at. Up here also is the relays for the I think it's clockwise and counterclockwise relays for the transfer case shift motor. They're buried in here also. So what I did is I jumpered. There's no power coming up to these relays to make them work. So the fuse isn't the wires aren't chafing or anything like that, causing the fuse to blow. So it's just a straight open in the circuit somewhere in the harness between the body, the dash here, and the engine compartment. So what we did is we just tapped off of the 14 gauge wire going to the transfer case shift motors. Plenty of amperage can go through those lines and no sweat on there. So we tapped off that one has a constant hot in it, and that's what this one requires, and it's right next to it up here in the dash. So I'll show you what I did. You can see over here it's in the dash. This right here is the junction block for the power door locks. So you have like a lock, all unlock, all lock relay up here, and they all have power coming into them on these black and white wires right here. So you can see they're all in common. There's about 5 of them going to each one of these relays, it seems, 2 or 3 at least. So I knew that was the power door lock relays, so I just had to get power to them. Once you get power to one of them, they're going to splice off down here in the harness and come back up to here. So they're all going to get power, just giving power to one of these. And like I said, they're low amperage, so that's just fine for repair on there. And then I brought a wire over to right here. That's the transfer case shift motor relay junction block right here, and this was a nice 14 gauge thick wire right here. So we tapped off of that, we spliced it in there and sealed it up, and that way it's secure in there. I'll wrap some electrical tape around here, secure it all up, and put these blocks back down in there in the bracket right here. But yeah, the relay junction block is right here in the dash right here, and this is the way to get to the sun load sensors and everything else when the vehicles have them, is this little cavity in the dash here.